Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the main deck. I'm Ethan, and this is Daniel here. We are the founders of Akimbo Media. And basically, again, this is just our little podcast. And basically, what this podcast aims to do is once we're successful, we can go back and look back on these times. So come along and be a part of our journey. To jump right into it, I'm going to give you guys a quick business recap. So for the past week, I was in New York, so I wasn't really fully to be able online. I know that sounds like a pretty dumb excuse, but in the meantime, I've been looking at is more social media marketing and doing more stuff like that because currently, right now, the thing that we have is websites. Now, websites is fine because everyone needs a good website. However, we can't be charging monthly retainers, so it's not going to roll enough money in and meet our goals. Also, I believe with marketing media, we can also show our clients direct results because of our actions. And for me, that's just something that's more fulfilling when I can see the results and I can also believe in myself that what I'm doing is I know that what I'm doing is generating results, positive results for these companies. So basically, um, I had done a cold call trying to sell a website, and basically the first time I called, this guy was like, "Oh, I'm not really looking into websites right now. It's something I've thought about, and he just needed more time to think about it. He said he was busy and stuff like that. So basically, what I did was I said, you know what, that's fine. I'm not trying to rush anyone today. I just wrote back down in my spreadsheet that I call him in 2 weeks. I said, how's it's okay if I call you in the next 2 weeks to see if everything's good? He's like, great. So that was great. So I call back again, and then he picks up, and then I land my first call. So, and I just want you, this lesson that I want you guys to take away is the power of consistency. You might ask once and you might get denied, or it might be iffy. But imagine if another person came up to you again with $1 million offer, right? These offers that we're throwing out, they're not scams. We're genuinely trying to help people. So if you get a second chance to get help, it's why wouldn't you want to take it? So basically, that's the power of consistency, and that you have to show your clients that you're actually motivated. Because if you're not, and you're just doing a one-time thing, then basically they're going to think like, oh, they're not really interested in helping me. They're just in it for themselves. So be consistent, and hopefully that can allow you to achieve more results.
Yeah, so just a little bit of business side on my end. So when he did that business call, that was my week off of college between the summer semester and the fall. So I was back at home. I went on a camping trip, which I'll hopefully give you guys some content of pretty soon. And yeah, it was pretty much off the business completely. I sort of started looking into side hustles here and there, nothing major, and just different skills I want to pick up over the years, such as coding and 3D modeling, just things on the side that interest me. But I just want to say, like, he did great job with the cold calls, and he actually pushed me to get cold calling, which you probably saw the video about cold calling. That was my first cold call, and I'll tell you a little bit about the process within that. And he said he was a week in New York and he did nothing. That's absolutely not true. This guy calls me. He's like, we have to change the social media marketing. I'm like, tell me about it. He runs me down the whole process of doing a Facebook ad, which I have never heard of. He tells me everything about it, words I've never heard before in my life. So he wasn't just like slacking off. My dude was over here like working, even as even in the way that I was working when I was off and wasn't at my setup, so I couldn't be doing cold calls, this and that. So we are working, even in our days off. You have to be working because, as he said, power of consistency. Not just in calling, but with yourself. You have to remain consistent because, and this happened to me this weekend actually. I sort of like lost the motivation to push
Momentum.
forward. Exactly, the momentum, and it just this weekend I haven't had it like a 0 day where I just didn't do anything, but hasn't been as productive as some of like my top days, which is okay. But you have to be able to get back into that rhythm very quickly. So yeah, back into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cold call I did. Go ahead. You want to mention something?
Oh, yeah. So basically, what I basically want to touch upon was again like I basically said like I wasn't doing anything, and then Daniel is over here saying like how much I did, and I feel like that just stems from us being like really harsh on ourselves, like because we think about is just this business now, and I've been going to sleep. Like sometimes I literally can't sleep because all I'm thinking is business, and I have to take melatonin now to help me go to sleep. But yeah, it's good to be hard on yourself sometimes too, but you also need to see that the work you're doing. But and also another thing I learned about for the momentum is don't let the work you did like yesterday, for example, if you do a lot of work yesterday, don't allow that work to roll over into today, making you think you can do less because you did more yesterday. Every day is a new day, and you need to restart. Even though today, let's say I do some work, no results. Tomorrow I do some work, no results. Third day, I'm starting to get a little bit of results. But at least you're building upon that, and that's what it takes. Because every time you stop, it's harder. The inertia to pick it back up again gets harder and harder every time. So keep going, stay consistent. Even if you're doing bad, you just see terrible results. Self-analyze and just keep pushing forward to that.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, yeah, going back to the cold call, as you saw in the video, or if you didn't see it, I'll put a link down below. Pretty much, I found this guy's business card at my gym, and I'm like, you know what? Not the best way to advertise. Since we're moving to advertising, good way to start. I've worked with a personal trainer for a while. I know how it works. I go to the gym. I'm interested in the niche as I call it. So let me give it a call. Let me give it a try. You'll see in the call, it went okay. Like the call went great, but the guy just wasn't interested because he wasn't in the business anymore. But it was actually a very good exchange, and what you'll hear from pretty much everybody is it's nerve wracking until you dial, and then you get into the mindset, and boom, it takes over, and you're good to go. And yeah, the process I'm doing a Loom video where I either show them an ad, which we would make something similar to, or I just run down their website telling them what I like about their business and how an ad would help them. And then I send the Loom video out, and then the next day, give it 18, 24, 20 some hours, I just give them a call. Hey, did you see the Loom video? No. Oh, pretty much I just wanted to say I love what you're doing, blah, 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 it's a great business, and I'm here to offer you the service. Obviously, it's not the exact sort of formula, but something like that, so it gives you an in. It's easier than just cold calling, be like, oh, can I speak to your owner? No, you're like, oh, I sent a Loom video to your owner. Are they there? Yes, they're here. Oh, could you put them on the phone so I could talk about it? And there you go. So it helps you sort of get into get the call rolling, and then you can take over with your sales pitch and getting the Zoom call, which is what you're trying to achieve with the cold call.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so that's basically what we've been up to for the past week, going into business. Going forward, I'm going to be moving to London next week, and from there, I'm going to be getting my shit together, and hopefully, we can bring this beautiful product into the city of London. Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much what I've been doing, I started fall semester last Wednesday, and yeah, I've just been getting into the classes. It's actually super nice because my schedule is very open. So yes, I have homework and whatnot, but it's not overwhelming. I have 1 or 2 classes a day, which range from like 50 minutes to 3 hours, which seems like a lot, but they're usually not 3 hours, or from what I've seen, they're not 3 hours. So yeah, I've just been
And how
trying
does
to.
the workload, how does the college workload compare to high school workload? As again, we're freshmen, and high school we take a lot of advanced classes, and you're always getting scolded that like, oh, you're not going to be able to last in college. College is on a different level. So I want to hear your experience of how college is. I know you're only in the first week, but can you tell me your brief experience of college compared to high school?
Yeah, so far it's not bad. Pretty much what I'm seeing, the classes like the first day give you everything due for the whole semester. So you could technically work ahead and just be done in the first week, but obviously you need the lectures and you need all that. so you sort of pace yourself with the class, but they give you all the work, and it starts out slow. Like some people were like, "Oh, you just sit down and they're lecturing the first day." No, the first day is go over the syllabus. How are you? I don't know if it's because we're freshmen, but well, not really, because some of the classes I take also don't just have freshmen. So you have like the introductory first week, and then you sort of start getting into it. So the course load is heavy, but it's not unmanageable. It's you can handle it. You know, it's not
Yeah,
crazy.
and
And
and I feel like that's like the main difference is in college you get everything thrown at you at once, so you know what you're expected to do. I feel like in high school it's more of like you have to jump through all these little hoops, like homework assignments. Like for me, I had a homework assignment once, like two, three assignments I'd do at the end of the week on Sunday night. Versus high school, they'll get spread out Monday, Wednesday, Friday throughout the week, and then you have to jump through those little hoops and stay on track like that. So high school is mostly like holding your hand, but in college I feel like you're more independent and responsible of yourself, and for me that's something that I really like.
exactly, I'm the same way. I love the flexible schedule because it gives you time to work on other things, such as the business we're working on. So pretty much, it's like here's everything, get it done by this day, and yeah, pretty much whatever you do with your time is your problem, which is good
Exactly.
because that's how like life is gonna be. You have your time, you do whatever you want with your time, just get what you have to get done.
Yeah, and speaking of high school, I went to high school yesterday on a Saturday to retake the SAT. Now, this SAT is the last SAT that will be administered before the online digital SAT takes over. So it was really cool to take a test one more time. Now, the reason I'm taking this test is because I want to be able to transfer into a different university. Not that I don't like my current university at the time, but it's just wasn't my first goal. And I think something for me, it was like if I never retook the SAT to try to improve my chances, I felt like I would be giving up on myself, on my dream. And going to the SAT, seeing all the high school kids, a lot of them that are now seniors that recognized me, it definitely was embarrassing because you're someone in college going back and you're kind of looked down upon as like, why are you here, why are you taking a step back? And I didn't want to let that get to me. There are people are asking me why I was here, and I was just saying, it's for my ego. I also run an SAT club, so I was like, well, if I'm the president, I have to go into war with my soldiers. But basically, what I want to say is that most people, they will just give up. You take the SAT once, you're content with your score. You know that you probably could do better, but it's easier just to stay where you are. And I could have done that, but the bigger person would be to, you work hard again, run through all the hoops, so you go back and take the test like a badass. And even if the people think that you're coming back and it's a sign of being a low level, well, you know in your heart that you're trying your best. So I applaud anyone else that's always looking to improve themselves, regardless of how content and how good their situation is.
Yeah, and well, speaking of the test, it's a question everybody asks after every test, but how do you think you do? I know it's hard to answer, but
Yeah, so I don't want to say anything to ruin my luck, say if it's good or bad, but I definitely think overall the test was very fair. I've taken really difficult SATs, really easy SATs, and I would say this one is very completely fair. The topics covered is everything I've prepared myself for. There wasn't anything in the test that, um, like I've never seen before. So I think I understand it fairly well, and I think the test was a very fair test. If you study the material like you should, I don't think there's any reason why you should do poorly.
awesome. And well, backtracking a little bit, you said you're moving to London quite soon. What is
Right.
this whole like the whole change of scenery been like for you? Well, before changing scenery, how are you preparing?
Well, yeah, obviously now that I'm about to leave, well, my house is also becoming for sale. So you start to appreciate everything. You know, you don't appreciate everything you have until you lose it. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's the same way. So at first, I'm super excited to go to London, but now as the days are getting closer, I am getting a little bit sad. I get to see everything because I've been here for the past 18 years of my life. And, I'm just going to be walking away from it. But, when you're walking away from something, being content again, you also have to walk away in hopes that when you go overseas and have a new experience, you're going to come out as a better person. You could stay here. I could stay here and just be content, live off of my parents. But, we're going to try to make a name for ourselves. That's part of adventure and that's a part of the fun of life. So you have to get out of your comfort zone and hope that the opportunities you take will make you a better person out of it.
Exactly, and when you're changing scenery, I've obviously don't quote me on this, but I've heard some neurological scientist on YouTube Shorts or something. They're like, when you change the scenery, it sort of gives your brain a little bit of a reset because like the things that sort of triggered certain behaviors aren't there anymore. So you can change certain behaviors with more ease when you're at a new sort of location, which is why I particularly love adventure. I love camping. I love going to new places because you're just giving your brain new experiences. And as compared to when you're at your house in the comfort of your bed, when you when you're comparing that to camping, it's a completely different mental process of how everything works around you, how you're getting your water, how you're getting your food. It's just absolutely crazy. So I think the change in scenery is going to benefit you a lot.
Yeah, well, I hope the same. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think just make the most of it, keep pushing forward, and it'll all work out some way or
Yep.
another.
Yep.
Well, going into a topic we're gonna discuss into the last podcast, but slipped my mind. So, as I said in the last podcast, we're not gonna discuss opinions on Andrew Tate, but he was released from jail a while back, where he was held in, I'm pretty sure, solitary confinement. And one of the things we were discussing in one of our calls is, okay, you've been in solitary confinement for whatever it was, 1 month, 2 months. When you're back out in the world, what is the first thing you're doing? Apart from obviously, seeing your family, what's like that one thing you just want to get back to?
Well, I feel like in jail you'll have a lot of time to think about that. So you come out. For me personally, uh, I love my car and I love the freedom of being able to drive around. I think if I were to come out of jail after seeing my family having a nice meal, I would go drive around my car because driving around my car, you get the sense of freedom. You can go anywhere you want, anytime. You're responsible. You're the one in control of what's going on. And again, I just a person that loves speed, and I love cars, and that's why we're in this business because we want our dreams to come true and be able to have nice cars.
Yeah,
So yeah,
buddy.
I think going for a nice drive would be something I'd do first.
Probably what I would do if when I have my boat, I just go out on a boat ride, maybe scuba dive, just take a plunge in the ocean because the
Would it be by
vastness.
yourself or with other people?
Well, like ideally, I just go on my own, but like safety standards and whatnot, like I'd probably bring somebody, like a dive buddy, just ideally the wife.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I'd just go scuba diving because once you're in the vastness of the ocean, you go out far enough where you can't see anything. It's just, you just feel this freedom. And then once you scuba dive, when you're in this completely new world that you're absolutely not supposed to be in, it's a crazy experience. So I think that's what I would do. Just go for a dive.
Yeah, if I may add, going back to my car driving, I would like my nice passenger princess wife to be in the seat next to me.
There you
Hopefully, I
go.
don't scare her too much after a year of not driving. Oh,
There you go. There you go. So yeah, what else do we have on the agenda for today? Um,
what else is going on in the world? What do you think about Logan Paul's wife?
oh my God.
Oh, that is
um, I think So when I first heard this story, I heard that it was just the opponent just talking shit about his wife.
Dylan Dennis.
Yeah, yeah, just talking shit about his wife, and no response from Logan Paul. So I'm not sure if Logan Paul has responded or not. But personally, what I would do is just no response, and then settle it out in the. Are they fighting in the octagon or in the ring?
Boxing.
Oh, yeah, it's in the boxing ring. Yeah. So I personally wouldn't give a response and then just go out and settle it in the ring. But yeah, I'm not sure if Logan Paul has given a response or not, or how he's handling it. But yeah.
Yeah, if anything, again, remember we believe in converting any negative energy, law of conservation and energy. You can use Dylan Dennis's negative energy coming towards your wife, which is, I think, is kind of a low blow because
Yeah.
you're basically attacking the wife instead of the actual
Exactly.
opponent. But you're using that to get to his brain. But again, you can use that negative energy and try to channel it into something positive and to put it into your training, become more focused about that. That's just one more reason why you have to go and beat up this guy. So that's my opinion on the boxing aspect of it.
Exactly, but you also have to be careful with the whole, like, sort of hatred that's fueling you for this guy, because it can cloud your judgment. So there have been times where, like, they're so angry at the opponent that they just try to, like, go for it, and they don't get anything done because they don't think about it. So you have to be, like, you have to know what you're doing to some extent, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with some extent, but then there's also like the Anakin Skywalker in me, like that, like liar, take you out.
No, yeah, exactly. I think that's totally it, but look at what happened to Anakin. He went.
He's a complete badass, ruler of the entire galaxy. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay, but hear me out. He got burned to a crisp. He got burned to a crisp because all his rage. If he could have just been a little bit more calm, he's technically more powerful than Obi-Wan. So, but yeah, he was clouded by hatred. So there you go. We'll see how it goes. When is the fight?
Don't ask me. We got better things to do. We got
we got businesses to run.
We don't have time to watch TV.
We don't have time for Dylan Dennis's tomfoolery, bro.
Every time we watch TV, all you think about is work.
Exactly. That is a crazy thing. That one of the first things I dropped was like TV. I'd just be like working. When you sit down to watch TV, you just it's like so useless. Like, don't get me wrong, I love me some Star Wars. I love Game of Thrones. I love whatever show I'm watching. But like, it got to a point where you just sat down and you binged for 4, 5, 6 hours, and you're not doing anything with your life. You're laying there, somewhat lifeless, watching a show. So that's one of the first things I dropped for productivity after social media, because it just consumes so much of your time. And don't get me wrong, it's very entertaining, but it's not very productive.
Yeah, and a large part of that is the guilt you feel, after you doing that. After you watch the episode, you're like, wow, there's so much stuff I could have been doing. Maybe how would my life change if I never would have done this? So, yeah, live every day in a way that you think would make your ancestors proud. And if you do the most you can every day, then you're going to be proud of yourself and you're going to be happy. And you might realize, like, this episode might not have even been that worth it. There's nothing I would have really gained by watching this episode than using it to be productive.
Exactly, and not only make your ancestors proud, but make yourself, your future self, and your future sort of group of people and family that you form proud, because they will look back at what you have done. Like the same way my dad was an entrepreneur from a very young age, and that is something that I look back on and I'm like, he was doing this when he was 16 years old. What am I doing right now, laying in bed doing absolutely nothing? So it's sort of like that legacy.
And I agree. I want to touch upon that. One of my favorite shows is Peaky Blinders. And whenever you're watching Peaky Blinders, you don't ever see them going on their phone, watching TV, they're 100% constantly being productive. Business, business, business. Because back then, there's nothing else you could do besides do work. There's no the form of entertainment. Their entertainment was their work. And I realized that once you cut out all of your distractions, your social media, there you have nothing else to do but work. So it's like if you want to be entertained, use your work as entertainment.
And once you do build your business and once you do form this sort of like baby, it does become entertainment because you want to see it grow. You want to achieve sort of like the hurdles. You want to achieve greater, like the greatest possible for your business. And one of the things I saw is like, okay, when we played video games, what were you trying to do? Get that new skin, get that new achievement, get more wins than your friend. Do that for your business. So
Yeah, video games are
make
real
more
life.
money.
And when you put so much effort and time and dedication, well, it's like, well, I can't go back now. I only can go forward, and that's the same thing with the video games. That's why a lot of people, if they get really, really good at one video game, they're not gonna go jumping, switching to other video games. They're gonna stay consistent with there because they already put so much time and effort into that one game. Well, I'm gonna just work and be the top 1%. But you can use the real world as your video game and have unlimited entertainment and have monumental success and boost your overall life at the same time.
Exactly, I absolutely love that. Use the real world as your own video game. Keep leveling up, keep improving yourself, make more money, make a better future for yourself. You'll never look back.
Yeah, real life GTA, man.
Exactly. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good way to close off the podcast for today. That's a
I
little
think so too.
nice little podcast for Sunday afternoon. So
Yeah, well, guys, thank you so much for watching the Upper Deck, and we'll
the
see you
main
next
deck,
week.
the main deck,
Main deck, main deck, main deck, main deck.
and we'll see you guys.
Enjoy nice sparkling water.
And yeah,
Have a good
we'll
day.
we'll see you guys next weekend. Hopefully you in London, and yeah, you guys have a great day.